In the heart of Lawrenceburg, Tennessee, the community center buzzed with warmth and familiarity as neighbors gathered for an evening with Karoline Leavitt. Amidst the casual conversations and shared smiles, a small tug on Karoline's sleeve shifted the atmosphere entirely. A little girl, no more than 7, stood before her with wide, curious eyes. Samantha, her name as gentle as her voice, pointed at the delicate cross necklace resting against Karoline's collarbone and asked softly, "What does your necklace mean?" The simplicity of the question struck Karoline like a wave, pulling her back to a time of personal loss and rediscovery. In that moment, the bustling room seemed to fade into silence, leaving only Karoline and Samantha in an unspoken connection. This innocent query was more than curiosity. It was a reminder of Karoline's own journey through grief, faith, and resilience. Samantha's tender gaze unknowingly reopened a chapter of Karoline's past, setting the stage for a profound story of love, loss, and the quiet strength found in the smallest moments. This encounter would not only change Samantha's life, but also reignite Karoline's purpose, weaving a narrative that would inspire an entire community to embrace compassion and hope. Karoline Leavitt's encounter with Samantha was more than just a fleeting moment. It was the catalyst that brought back a flood of memories and emotions. As she knelt beside the little girl, the weight of her own past pressed against her heart. Karoline recalled the night she lost her grandmother, the woman who had given her the very cross necklace Samantha was asking about. The memory of holding the delicate pendant for the first time, feeling both anger and longing, resurfaced vividly. She remembered the silent tears, the whispered prayers in the stillness of her grandmother's room, and the eventual realization that even in her darkest moments, she was never truly alone. Samantha's innocent question pierced through time, bringing Karoline's journey full circle. With a trembling voice, Karoline shared the significance of the necklace, revealing how it had once been her anchor during a storm of grief. Seeing the yearning in Samantha's eyes and knowing the hardships the little girl faced, Karoline felt an undeniable pull. The decision to give Samantha her necklace wasn't made out of pity, but from a deep understanding of what it meant to need hope. As the necklace exchanged hands, so did an unspoken promise that Samantha too would find strength and never feel alone. This poignant exchange not only bridged two souls, but also laid the foundation for the wave of compassion that would soon envelop the entire community. In the quiet hum of the community center, Karoline Leavitt's mind drifted back to the painful night she lost her grandmother. The weight of that loss, the hollow ache in her chest, and the countless whispered prayers that once felt unanswered came rushing back. As Samantha's innocent eyes stared at her, Karoline felt the same vulnerability she had felt years ago, standing in her grandmother's room, clutching the cross necklace. That night, faith had found her in the silence, offering her a fragile but steady lifeline, and now, seeing Samantha's trembling fingers and hearing about her mother's sacrifice, Karoline recognized that same longing for hope. She knelt down, her voice breaking with emotion, and shared her story, how that small cross became a symbol of resilience and belief when everything else felt lost. Samantha listened, tears glistening in her young eyes, feeling seen and understood. In that moment, Karoline knew what she had to do. She gently placed her necklace in Samantha's hand, her own heart aching, yet filled with peace. "You're never alone," she whispered. The room fell silent, the weight of the moment sinking in. As Samantha clutched the necklace tightly, tears streaming down her cheeks, Karoline felt the past and present intertwine. The memory of her grandmother's unwavering faith lived on, not just through the necklace, but through the love and kindness it inspired. This wasn't just an act of giving, it was a promise of hope and the beginning of healing for both Karoline and Samantha. In the stillness following Karoline's heartfelt gift to Samantha, a hush settled over the room. As Karoline rose, brushing away her own tears, she noticed the little girl clutching the cross tightly, her eyes shining with gratitude. The weight of the moment lingered, but Karoline's heart felt lighter than it had in years. She thought of her grandmother's unwavering faith and the night she had given away that first necklace. In Samantha's innocent joy, Karoline saw a reflection of her own journey, of loss, rediscovery, and the quiet strength that faith had given her. Just as she turned to leave, the girl's mother approached, eyes brimming with tears. "I sold my cross to feed her," she whispered. "I never thought she'd have one again." Karoline squeezed the woman's hand gently, understanding more than words could express. Then, one by one, members of the community stepped forward, offering groceries, clothes, and small tokens of kindness. Karoline watched in awe as a simple gesture ignited a wave of compassion, turning strangers into a family bound by empathy. She realized that faith wasn't just about belief, it was about being there when someone needed hope the most. As she stepped out into the cool night, Karoline felt a deep sense of peace, knowing that even the smallest act of love could spark a change far greater than she could ever imagine. Karoline's gift of the necklace to Samantha was not just an act of kindness, but a continuation of a story filled with tears and hope. Looking into the little girl's wide, innocent eyes, Karoline couldn't help but recall the days she sought strength in her faith after losing her beloved grandmother. Now, standing before her was a young girl facing hardships far too heavy for her tender age. The moment Karoline gently placed the necklace into Samantha's trembling hand, the entire room fell silent. Emotion rippled through the crowd as the little girl hugged Karoline tightly, tears streaming down her cheeks. Samantha received more than just a material gift. She felt love, hope, and a silent promise that she would never be alone. Karoline's gesture touched every heart in the room. A kind-hearted man stepped forward, placing a few bills into Samantha's mother's hand to help them through tough times. One by one, members of the community began contributing gift cards, essential supplies, and heartfelt words of encouragement. Each small act of generosity became a spark, together illuminating a sky full of compassion and love. Karoline stood quietly, taking in the scene before her, feeling the profound power of compassion and faith. Her journey, from a grieving college student searching for spiritual strength to someone inspiring hope in others, was now carried on through Samantha and this community. In that moment, Karoline realized that sometimes a single act of kindness can change a life forever. Karoline Leavitt's story at the Lawrenceburg Community Center reached its emotional crescendo when she handed her cherished cross necklace to Samantha, a little girl burdened by hardships far beyond her years. The weight of Karoline's own past, losing her grandmother and grappling with faith, culminated in this moment of pure empathy. As Samantha clutched the necklace, tears shimmering in her eyes, the room felt the unspoken connection that bound them together. Karoline's memories of lending her grandmother's necklace to a grieving friend surfaced, reminding her that faith isn't about holding on, but about giving when it's needed most. Moved by the heartfelt exchange, the community rallied around Samantha and her mother. Donations poured in, not just as charity, but as symbols of shared humanity. A simple question from a child had ignited a cascade of kindness, proving that even the smallest gestures could heal and uplift. Karoline's journey, from a young woman questioning her faith to someone inspiring hope, became a beacon for many. This was more than a fleeting moment. It was a testament to the enduring power of compassion, faith, and human connection that transcends time and circumstance. Karoline Leavitt's encounter with Samantha didn't end at the community center. It sparked a journey of change that extended far beyond what anyone expected. As Karoline drove home that evening, her mind replayed the tearful hug of the little girl and the whispered gratitude of her mother. The weight of the empty spot where her necklace once lay felt lighter compared to the warmth that now filled her heart. The next morning, news of Karoline's gesture had already spread across Lawrenceburg, igniting a ripple effect of kindness. Inspired by her story, local businesses started fundraising campaigns, and neighbors began dropping off groceries and essential items for struggling families, including Samantha's. Karoline found herself overwhelmed with messages. not only from locals but from people across the state who had heard about the story through social media. Offers of support poured in, and soon Karoline partnered with a local charity to create an initiative focused on helping families in need. What started as a single act of compassion became a growing movement of faith and hope. Months later, Samantha's mother secured a stable job thanks to one of the community members who had been moved by Karoline's story. Samantha thrived in school, often seen with her treasured necklace, now a symbol of resilience. Karoline's journey came full circle when she realized that her grandmother's lesson of faith wasn't just about believing. It was about acting on that belief. The moment with Samantha taught her that even the smallest gestures could create waves of change, a lesson she vowed to carry with her forever. Karoline Leavitt's story with Samantha teaches us that even the smallest acts of kindness can create waves of change. In today's fast-paced world, it's easy to overlook those in need or feel too busy to lend a helping hand. However, Karoline's journey shows that compassion doesn't require grand gestures. Sometimes, a simple act of empathy can make all the difference. Whether it's offering a listening ear to a friend in distress, helping a neighbor with groceries, or supporting a local charity, each act of kindness adds to a collective force that uplifts communities. Karoline's gift of her cherished necklace wasn't just about giving away an object. It was about giving hope and showing that someone cares. In our daily lives, we can emulate this by being present for others, sharing our time, and offering support when it's needed most. Let Karoline's story remind us that faith and compassion are not just beliefs, but actions that inspire and transform. No matter how small, your kindness can be the light someone desperately needs. Take that step today, because even the smallest gesture can change a life forever.